So I just finished drawing up in my notebook what I'm calling my ideal day. Now, I'm not being patronizing. I'm sure you understand what we're talking about when I say setting up your ideal day. So let's talk about why I put this together. And I would encourage you to put together your own, even as you're listening, if you have the opportunity to do so. Get your notebook out, white paper and blue pen. That's what I believe in. So things have been going well for me with the music writing. Really, they have for years. A lot of my work has come through that. People read my articles and sometimes check out my music. People read my articles and sometimes request me to write lyrics. There's all sorts of opportunities that have opened up because of my music writing and continue to open up because of it. And even though AI has changed the game, or seemingly changing the game, and people can now put together content faster than ever before, the reality is, right now anyway, maybe not in the future, still requires a human input to put together something that's true and good quality knowledge to share with an audience. My community projects are still going well, and I do have some things going on with the graphic and web design as well, being a webmaster too, since manage many websites. But as I look to the future of what I want to create, I realized that there are some things that I would very much like to change in my life. And that's what got me thinking about, what would I do? What would my day look like if I was to create it outside of all my current obligations and commitments, which are important, but some of them will one day come to an end. Many of them, all of them will come to an end at some point. But I'm just saying that some of my current commitments do definitely have expiration dates. So what would I be doing with my time on a daily basis, discipline-wise and work-wise, if I was free to choose and create it however I wanted to create it? And so here's what I came up with. I would spend 30 minutes writing songs, songwriting. I think that would be more than enough time. I'm always looking at consistency, right? So I'm not thinking about, today I need to spend 8 hours writing songs. No, if I spent 30 minutes a day, either organizing, managing, building on the songs that I already have, or drawing up new ideas, I would have more than enough music. And in fact, I really do have more than enough music right now to last me a good long while if I was to release it, whether in pieces or in albums. And I would spend 60 minutes recording. Inevitably, this is much more effort and time than expected. I think most days it's almost like you have to be pretty well rested if you want to record well. You want to show up confident. It's almost like the microphones or the inputs know when you're not feeling your best. And when you show up that way to record, you just don't do your best takes. But if I spent 60 minutes per day producing and making music, I would complete and release more projects. I would spend another hour writing my next book. I've got multiple book projects, and as I've probably shared before, many of them are nearing completion. And while I do have kind of my main focus right now on the Productivity, Performance, and Profits Black Book, I don't think it would be completely out of line to create some pre-orders for the other books that I'm not necessarily planning on creating anything more out of in the immediate future. I've got to maintain my focus on one book at a time. I'm honestly looking now maybe this could be a 3-year plan. In the past, my product launches were maybe every 90 days. And while that 90-day system is a really, really good thing to adopt, you'd almost want to be thinking more in terms of what project could I then complete in 90 days? And what's the first marketing channel I could add in the next 90 days? And what's the next marketing channel I could add in the next 90 days? Thinking more in terms of how to amplify and enhance and grow the thing that you've already created may actually be a better use of your time. This is something marketers do poorly, but musicians do well, is we tour the crap out of our material. Musicians get a huge runway out of the music they create. Think of Kiss or AC/DC or any of your favorite artists or bands. They get to tour and tour and tour, and what do people still want to hear? Their hits. That's just the way it works. So when we take that same approach to marketing, then we're thinking more in terms of how to do the world tour of the products we've created, rather than thinking in terms of how can I get a quick buck. 2 hours creating content. I think it's really inevitable that content does need to be created in some way, shape, or form for you to have something to share, preferably daily, if not multiple times per day. And again, even with all the efficiencies afforded nowadays, I'm a big believer in creating a pillar piece of content, like something that's preferably 20 minutes to an hour, and then breaking it down into smaller chunks, tweets, blog posts, podcast, video, images, and so on. Then I would spend 4 hours marketing and distributing. The things that you create don't get out there on accident. Certainly, sometimes we get lucky, but I still feel like luck is pretty much created. It's created by effort. It's created by consistency. It's created by showing up day in, day out. That's how luck is created. And you really need to demand accountability from your marketing. Going like, if this is working, keep it, do more of it, enhance it, amplify it. And if it's not working, cut it off. And knowing when to make those decisions is also key. I would spend about 30 minutes in research. Research is necessary in a lot of different ways. Whether it's thinking about my Dream 100, so maybe there's someone I would want to add to my list of Dream 100. And then that would look like subscribing to their email list and following them on social media and stuff like that. Researching music venues in case there's something that I want to book, or researching presentation and speaking engagement opportunities if I want to go and present publicly. I think in 30 minutes a day, I could accomplish a lot. And that really goes for any other activity that I'm waiting at about 30 minutes. And that really goes hand in hand with the kind of final 30 minutes of work that I dreamed up for myself was Dream 100 and or outreach, which really is kind of the same thing. You got to spend some time every day with your Dream 100, or else you're really not going to get anywhere with that strategy. But you don't want to spend too much time, because you could easily get carried away doing this and that for 4 hours a day. Really, the way I think about it is, first you want to get on their radar in some way, shape, or form. Just do everything you can. Leaving comments on social media posts, subscribing to their lists, joining their Facebook groups, buying a product, usually buying one of their products. Maybe not a book, because, us authors don't know the customers that are buying our books. So it's not like Amazon gives us that information. But buying one of their courses, your name is certainly going to get on their radar if you do all those things. And then calling upon them like very intentionally when you need help, like when you've got an album release or when you've got a tour, and then creating some kind of win-win proposition that isn't just all about you. So that amounts to about 9.5 hours of work. And for some of you are going like, if I was to set up my ideal day, I probably wouldn't spend that much time. But you would be surprised. I would say 10 to 14 hour days are sort of the norm between the leadership program that I'm currently taking, my business, and my freelance clients and my workload. So 9.5 hours per day compared to what I'm doing right now would be like a dream. And I think that living my ideal day would allow me to delegate and find people to create this with me in a relatively short amount of time. I did write down a couple of other essential activities. I'd not consider them work, but they are important to my daily life. I would spend 30 minutes workout. I've been pretty consistent with this since February. I was just starting to get back into it. Starting about June of last year, I was starting to walk about 6,000 steps every day. And that was good for kind of just general exercise and health and maintenance, but it really wasn't getting me to where I wanted to go fitness-wise. So starting February, I was like, well, I want to start to get a little more buff. Got my 30-pound weights out, and I was like, this is so painful getting back into it after a bit of a break from workouts. But once I got back into it, it's not so bad. And you just get better and better every week. So before I knew it, I was doing this a day per week, and then twice a week and 3 times a week, and now I work out very consistently 4 times a week. So I'd pretty much just keep that in my schedule. I think that's something that's working and well worth it too. And then I'd spend 30 minutes reading. I've talked about the importance of reading to me, why I do it, why I choose to engage in it, even when other people are going like, I don't read, I don't want to read. Oh, there's just so much benefit to reading that you're not fully aware of, but I'm not here to convince you so much as just share, like, here's what I would set up if I were looking to create my ideal day. So what would your ideal day look like? That's really the takeaway from this episode. Like, the actionable thing that you can do now is get your notebook out, get your blue pen out, start drawing up what would my ideal day look like if I could choose it. If I didn't have a job, if I didn't have other commitments that I don't really enjoy or don't want to be there for, what would I specifically choose? And if you're not willing to do that, I don't know if you can ever get it. You got to be willing to take the actions, right? So start drawing that out. Then you can start attracting that into your life. You got to be willing to do it though. So take that action, and I'll talk to you again soon. It's coming up fast and there's no time. Clean Slate 2024 is coming up fast, February 16th in Victoria, BC. You don't want to miss out on this incredible live music and multimedia event with a dosage of inspiration to light you up creatively and to have an amazing 2024. Once again, that's Clean Slate. You don't want to miss out. Go to davidandrewweeb.com and you'll either have the option to get updates, win tickets, or buy tickets as soon as they go on sale. So once again, I invite you to go to davidandrewweeb.com and get your tickets right away. See you there.